Hello everyone, welcome to Figma tips and tricks tutorial. Today I'm going to share a trick to create data visualization with an example of column chart with Figma variables. So let's start with the example. So in this example here I'm showing the sales, expenses and profit with the help of column chart. So generally here I'm creating a single year which is 2022, and this data is going to reflect over the 2021, 2022 and 2023. So here is a very easy interaction. While I am going to mouse over it, it will show as a tooltip. So tooltip will show year, sales and the percentage of sales. The same way for expenses and the profit. So how we can achieve this with the less step? Let's see how to create a column chart. So here I'm going to take the same structure for this. So here I have created the structure which is having like column chart layout and column chart header. So I'm going to just copy this here. So little height I will increase here. Now the next important thing, we need a column which is appearing here. So for that I'm taking the rectangle. So suppose if I have taken the rectangle and you can see the trick, like here is a column or a rectangle. We When we are going to increase the height, currently it is 81, and if I'm saying 100, it is getting increase towards down. So what we need to do, just select this, and this is the angle or rotation which we have to make it 180 degree. Now I'm going to place this in a 0 and I'm saying 20. Now again 30. So now it is increasing towards the up. So this is the way where we can track the height, means we can assign the value to the height. So just I'm going to give the color here. So fill here, this is sales. So this is the default state, so I will give this color, and if need to give corner radius, so for top I'll give 2 pixel, and I'm going to just copy this. So control, you can copy this and here change the color, for the active. So this I can say like active column, or I have already created the local variable with the column. So I will use here like active rectangle. So active rec sorting. Now this is a default. So here I'm going to say default rectangle. So this active part is done. Now I'm going to create the next one, which is required as expenses and then profit. So I'm taking this both using alt in between gap, and this is default rectangle. So here I'm going to say this expenses. So default expenses, then it will be easy to differentiate in between. And so default expenses is this. Then I'm going to use the color little lighter, and the active expenses, so here we will change the color this. Now this is the default expenses and active expenses, and here we can name it as the default sales and the active sales. Now next, select both, copy, and then we can have this and say this profit. So here we will move this up, and this is default profit, and here can say active profit. So default profit, we are going to fill the color. The same way for active profit, we'll select the color this. Now this work is done. Next is tooltip. So creating a tooltip, just we need one rectangle here, and here we need some of the text. So in this we are going to say this rectangle about. So this is about sales. So we'll take the bigger one, which is expenses, so we can understand the height and width for the tooltip. So this is the text. I have taken the very small frame, so I'm going to take the small font size here, which is the expenses, and then next is expenses, and this is the year, so 2023, and then we need percentage, so percentage and the value. So this will be, suppose, 100%. So 100, the value will come from the variable, which will be dynamic, and this is for the percentage. Now need to increase little height and set up the width for the text and for this. So it will align accordingly. Now we can keep this here. So this part, I'm going to change the color, and here effect. So this need to be give the radius. Directly we can give 4 pixel, and here for the effect can select this. Now this tooltip is ready, so we'll select this expenses, year, and the percentage. So here I'm going to create this as a tooltip. So same way, moving this means doing copy of this, and we can have this tooltip for expenses and the profit. So no worries, this all data come from the local variable. So just we have aligned. So this is the center aligned and text is written. Now the next important part is to create your local variable. So here local variable I'm going to create that will work as a table. So you can see this is the local variable which I have created for the earlier, the example one column chart. So same way I'm going to create a new one, and we need to give this some different name. Column start, and here I'm going to create the variables. So variables, now you have to think as a table what all data is required to show the column chart. So here I'm starting with the Boolean, and here I can say this active. So I will say sales active, and then we need sales active I'm taking here for while I'm mouse hovering this, so the default will get hidden and the sales will get appear. So next is require a string variable. So it will say about the name of the, so like expenses, sales, about this. So this will be the sales, and then we need a number to say this percentage. So we'll take the number which will be the sales, and once we have this data which is appearing over the tooltip like expenses, year, and the value. So same way we are going to reflect for the expenses and the profit also. So I'm going to copy this, duplicate, and instead of sales, you can say this expenses, and instead of sales, you can say expenses, and this number we can say, okay, number is not defined, so we can say this is sales percentage. So the same way we'll duplicate this and we'll say expenses percentage. Now we'll arrange, so it will come here, sales active, expenses active. Now sales this, so it is going to move here, and sales percentage is the last one here. So now next I'm going to create for the profit. So duplicate this variable and say profit active, and this expenses, so duplicate this and say profit, and the number profit. Now again I'm going to arrange accordingly, so profit, then profit name, and this expenses value, so expenses active, and expenses number, name of expenses, column name, and then the expenses percentage. So here profit, this need to be renamed as a profit. So this data is done for 3 of them, and then we require the finally year. So for that I'm going to take the text value, this is string variable, so we'll create here, we'll say year. Now this is a chart for 2020, and so this part is done here. So whatever table we have or will have, the table, it will have the sales percentage, expenses percentage, and the profit. Other than this, if you want to add, you can add accordingly in this different column, like here sales, expenses, profit. So here I'm going to define the string for this. So this is for the tooltip, which is saying the like a name of this column. So name of this column is the sales. So here I'm going to say just saying sales, and then name of the column of this, it will be the expenses. So you can just take this, and the next is name of the column is profit, so we can say profit. Now the values are percentage. So here suppose we are taking sales in a 2020 is 20%, and then expenses is 10%, and profit is, so we'll make this as a 20 and this will make as a 30. So this is the data for the 2020. Now I'm going to add the data for the 2021. So just create the mode, and this mode you can give the name 2020, and this mode going to name it 2021, and here we can say instead of 30 we'll say 50, and this will say 20. So this is the sales in that year, 50%, and the expenses 20%, and here profit we can say annual number means like 60%, and the year will be 2021. Now the next table for the 2022, so change the name as a 2022, and this is for the sales active. Name will be same, just we need to update the percentage of sales. So here this I'm going to take 70, and expenses 30, and the profit 50. Now 2023, so this column will be same, just we need to update the percentage of the sale, which I'm going to say like 100%, or we can take 90, and here expenses 40, and profit 60. So this data to 2023, this is 2022. So this is the kind of table which we have created here, and it is gonna to reflect over here, and only a single column means the single year going to reflect for the 20, 21, 22, 23. How it will be? Let's see. So we'll start with this. This is the active sales, and here is the pass through. So whatever we don't need to show upfront, I'm going to pass through first. So this is the active sales. So click here, pass through, column start, which is like sales active. Hide it. So just pass through. The value will get attached here, and you can check. So in future, if you want to make it the new variable, you can detach this. Next is active expenses. Select this, pass through, and select here active. So expenses active. Now next is active profit. Select this, pass through, profit active. So this work is done. And now the assigning the value, the number which will take as a profit and all. So I'm going to select this tooltip, and this is a default sales, active sales. Come here to height, you will see this apply variable. Click here and you will see the sales. So just we have to select the sales one, sales percentage. Now the next is for X. Okay, so this is for the sales. Now I'm going to for the expenses. So default one, active one, select both. Come to the height, and here is the X expenses percentage. It will come like this. Now the profit one, select both active and default. Come to the height, and here it is a profit. So profit, I'm assigning this value. So it is reflecting. Now this work is done. Coming to the tooltip. So tooltip, we need to assign the value for this 100. So this 100 will come from here, apply variable. So apply variable. So this is the profit one. Okay, so this is for the sales one. Just name this so we won't keep any confusion. Tooltip sales, then this tooltip expenses, and then tooltip profit. So in sales one, this is the value. So here apply variable, and you will see here for the sales percentage, which is 30. Done. Next is the year. So select this, apply variable. So for sales and having the year, so year is the common for all three. So we'll select this 2020 and the values now. So which is 30 here. Yeah. So sales percentage is done. Okay, this is already done then. So how we can see which is done or not? So you will select this 30. You will see here sales percentage which is attached. Now see the year. You can see here T year, and then the expenses. So instead of expenses we didn't apply. So click on that, and this is the sales. So you can select the sales. Same way for expenses. So this is the 100, which is the value, and it will come to the expenses. So this is the expenses here 10. So it is reflecting. Now this year. So year is common. So we'll select this, and then the value of percentage for expenses, which is already done. Okay, I think this text is not appearing here. So we'll say these expenses. Now moving to this profit part. So in profit, we'll start from here. So number. So here profit percentage 20. Then year, which is common. So going to select this year, and then expenses means name. So it will be a profit. We'll say this profit. So all attached here, you can see which is attached or not. Now if we want to give the different color for profit, so here we can change this color. Here is for the profit, and if you want to change this text also, so you can select this and this with the percentage. So this is for the profit. Now coming to the expenses one. So expenses one, this use control. So you can select this one, and going to fill color, which is for the expenses one. So select this. For the sales, so come to this tooltip, fill color, this. Now this all work is done here. What is the next remaining work? Tooltip is done and this column is done. So this tooltip, and this one. So I'm going to give the interaction for the hover and mouse leaf. So select this. So before that we need to organize this. How we'll organize? So it will be easy for the other year which we are not going to create, just it will reflect from the local variable which is moreover like a table. So how it will work? So here it is like default cell and active cells. So we'll take this tooltip here. So same way for expenses, and this is for the active profit. So this is the default with where I'm going to assigning the interaction. So default cells is there, and where is the active cells, which is here. So I'm going to pull this active cells in a tooltip column, means a group. So now this is grouped under tooltip cells. Same way here, active expenses moving to the, or other than that, we can do one more thing. So keep it outside, and this is the tooltip cells, tooltip expenses we have to assign. Then this will be the hidden. So we need to pass through with the same local variable. How will do? Tooltip cells pass through. So it will be a part of cells active, and the next is expenses one. So tooltip expenses pass through, expenses active, then the profit one pass through, profit active. Now the work is done. So next is, this is the default and this is the active state. What we are going to do, either we can keep outside, it's okay, or either pull it inside this in the same column. So no worries, no need to do. And here I'm going to give the interaction for the prototype. So interaction here, so we are seeing this while hovering. Just we need to set variable and say for the cells. So here it is cells active, which is false, which we need to make it as a true, and add here for the mouse leave, can say 2, and here set variable cells active will be false. So same for this default expenses. So interaction, and here we have the while hovering set variable, and here you will get the expenses one, expenses active. So while hover it will be true, and make for the mouse leave. So here mouse leave delay 2ms, and then set variable, here we'll get the expenses active, say the false. So next for the default profit, so interaction, here is on click, so we need to change to the while hovering set variable. So this is profit, so this is profit active, need to make it true, so it will visible. Add interaction for the mouse leave and say 2ms, then set variable, and here it is for the profit active, make it false. Now we'll preview this, how it is working. So this is frame 1. Sales, it is working fine. Expenses working fine, and profit, it is working fine. So now you can see here this which I have created for the year 2020. So to define that, we'll need a text which will say 20, or here just will say the years. And this also need to apply variable. So here is the apply variable where it will be the common for this 2020. So this set of column is done for the year 2020. Now we need 2021 till 2023. So what we are going to do, this select all till here from default sales to year 2020 and make the group, and we can say this 2020. Now this I'm just going to copy and here once we selected this, it is 2021, and here is the change variable mode. Click on this and here we need to say just 2021. Your chart is ready. So next, the same way, I'm copying this and here change mode, just say 2022. Chart is ready. And for 2023, I'm taking this and here I'm going to say the change mode. Now the change mode will come here. You can say 2023. So little width need to be increased. Select the frame. So this structure is created already. So just we need to increase this. So we'll see where it is getting conflict or we are getting the right data or not. So we need to give little more space to differentiate, but overall just reflecting the data we need to see here 20, 20, 20, 21, 50%, it is fine. You can see here 40% and 50%, 20%, 20, yeah, 60%. Now the data for the 2022, this is all fine. So it is working. Now the second trick, while we need to see the data like this here in example, JSON means which is appearing here. So how we can do that? This is just a small trick. Come to this and whatever data you want to show means as a tooltip, just make it true. So this is data for the cell. So sales data is appearing here. So now if you want to arrange, you can arrange, pull it up and down, or you can use the auto layout. So it will be according to this height, it will over the top always. So The same way, if we need to show the expenses one for the particular year, so this is the 2023 and I want to show the profit, we can make it true, so profit will get appear here. So how is the trick? And it is really very less time to create column chart using the variable mode, and just we need to create the single for the single year, and the remaining we can change it accordingly. So here it is a variable mode which we can check this 2023, it is automatically getting reflecting the data here. So if I make it 2023, it will be 2023. I will make the 2020, so it will be same. So it is not just for this, we can create the same entire thing as a component and we can use for the future also. So the variable is always along with that. So you can see here, so here is the cells, we can make it false, means overall we are going to reuse this to create a component, and for future we can easily edit the data. So here, suppose this is the cells, we can say this cells cells 2020. So just we need to make it the local variable ready, then we can change it, update it anytime while we are converting to the component and local variable. So how is the trick? Please write on the comment. Thank you very much.